I've done it. I've successfully created the T-Virus. Whoo, I got a kick. Anyway, welcome once again after a few years to March of the Living Dead. March of the Living Dead 3. That's right. My plan is that this will be the final installment of March of the Living Dead. Just because there's not a lot of zombie franchises to do. I could do a bunch of one-offs. There's like other movies that are zombie apocalypse and a sequel and there's stuff like that. But I like to do these. A franchise and then some other ones sprinkled in. The first year I did the George Romero of the Living Dead movies. Of the Dead movies. And I just did those that year. And I think... were they the remake? The remake of first remake of Night of the Dead, I think I did, right? So, Night, Dawn, Day, Land, Diary, Survival, and then we made it 7, right? And then the last time I did this, I did the Return of the Living Dead franchise. Return of the Living Dead Part 2, 3, 4, and Right from the Grave. I couldn't think it. Can't remember if that's 5. And then I did like some other ones that are there, right? Scouts vs. Zombies, and other ones equal to 10 at least. And now I'm doing this one. And so with that, there's 17. No, wait, one of these has to be that. I don't know. But I do always do a franchise in this. And so the only idea I had was that Resident Evil was going to be the zombie franchise I do for the third one. If I ever did a third one. But there's not much after that. The 28 blanks later is getting more sequels, but I've already done those. So, I don't know, it's not really, and I don't do these every year. I did Martial Arts Month one year, which is pretty cool. Come and do that again, we'll see. Again, I gotta find martial arts movies to do, that's the problem. And you know how we do it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna put a video out explaining everything. And then this year, 2 extra reviews, 2 different Saturdays this month, so yeah. But I'll do an announcement video for it. But we're talking about the original Resident Evil from 2002, and yeah. So here's an interesting thing about this franchise. I know a lot about this franchise thanks to movie reviewers like Phaelus. Yeah, Phaelus, Cody Leach, Decker Shadow, and the Blockbuster Buster, Erod. I know about this franchise up and down. I've watched the reviews. I've watched Erod's reviews the most because he did a fun thing where he had different characters back in the day. Each character would take his because he did stories. So he was kidnapped. So his other characters would come in like Freddy Fedora or Fedora Freddy and the Mexican one, Latino. I forgot his name. And then the other one, the one that's always afraid of everything. I forgot what that one was called. But I need to rewatch those. I just remember that the Mexican stereotype one called her Mila Yo-Yo Beach. But yeah. So, and yes, there's always been a bit of frustration with this franchise in general, due to be it studio interference or someone higher up not really knowing how to just adapt the games one for one. Changing a few things, sure, you can't plagiarize, but you can do something. And the problem starts with the conception of this first film, because they got the rights back in 1997 and attacked George A. Romero, yes, that, George A. Romero, the godfather of zombie films, who directed the commercial for Resident Evil 2 back in the day, to write and direct a Resident Evil adaptation. He did a script, he turned it in, they said, nah. And the script was a faithful adaptation of the video game. And they went, nah. Other directors also tried, but it didn't really work. In comes Paul W.S. Anderson, director of another video game movie, Mortal Kombat, which was good. And he decided, hey, I have a script that's something that's not related to anything. It's a prequel called Resident Evil Ground Zero. What? None of them just happened? Can't call it that. We'll just call it Resident Evil. And even though there are some elements here, like, for all intents and purposes, you could have just adapted Resident Evil using this script. I was partway through this movie. It's the part where they're, like, going around underneath in the lab. And I'm like, you know, if you changed a few characters, and after watching it, a few characters fades. Like, for instance, Colin Salmon's character here. One, he could be Barry. Rain could be Jill. The Kaplan, I think his name is, could be, or maybe the other dude, the one that started the T-Virus. He could be Wesker. Matt could be Chris, right? Though they would be playing the same roles, obviously, because they're hostages here, but they would be a part of the team. And Milla Jovovich can still be Alice, albeit, I don't know, less pushed as the main character of this franchise after this. For all intents and purposes, like, this movie ends with her being captured and put somewhere. Just have that be her fate in this movie, and when the next one comes out, we have, it would be Jill, or, not Jill. Technically, we would do the second movie next, with Claire and Leon. Then the third one would kind of put both stories together, where they'd meet up with Jill, because I think that's how it works in the video game. I only know the story of the two games. I don't remember the rest of them. But there's, if you want a great retrospective, 616 Entertainment here on YouTube. He does great retrospectives, and he did all the video games. All of them. So check that out. I think he even did the movies too, and everything about it. He would have had to. Anyway, Ian. Yeah. So, like, yeah, it's a weird thing for me. The only movie I've actually sat through and watched is this one, which I thought, despite smushing two games together, was decently faithful. Though certain nods, like, it's a Jill sandwich now, and a little too much. This one, I thought was actually pretty good. Is it better than this one? I'll have to rewatch this one. Yeah, so I never watched it. Though I almost did. Many moons ago, like 2009, 2010, DeGroby and I, and his girlfriend at the time, he's a fan of these movies, and we wanted to put the first one in, because I hadn't seen them, so we're going to watch it. We get to the part where, like, the Red Queen starts to kill everyone, and she gets too scared, and we had to turn it off. And somehow I never returned to watch it some other time or anything. I was getting into it, too. She's like, no, this is scaring me. I'm like, what? First of all, that's not how it's supposed to work, okay? Ladies, that's the reason we watch horror movies with you. You're not supposed to get scared. You're supposed to get horny. That's how it works. But, no, she was too scared. Come to think of it. Never mind. It's not my girlfriend, so I don't know. But yeah, so we actually start off with the narrator, who is Jason Isaacs. Not to be confused with the other Isaacs guy later in the franchise. Am I thinking of the wrong? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, no, that's Ian Glenn. Never mind. I don't know why I thought it was they had the same last name. Anyway, narrating what Umbrella Corporation did. And I'm watching this and I'm feeling, was this even a related script? Was it just an unrelated script that Paul W. Anderson had and they changed the name of the corporation to Umbrella and they put certain things like the liquors, which are used so much during this franchise, like the only monster besides Nemesis in the next one that are used. Yes, that's right. Nemesis is in the second movie. I don't know. I know it was introduced to the third game. If anything, it should be the timer in the second one, right? I don't know. Like I said, I know a little bit. I have Resident Evil 2. And I bought it years ago, around the time it came out, the remake came out. Never played it. It's still there. I can play it on my Xbox. I just have never gotten into it. I'm not a big shoot 'em up guy. Ask anyone who I've ever played Call of Duty with. I'm usually shooting windows. Then they get pissed at me. Well, it sucks. So I'm gonna shoot something I can hit the windows. I'm just saying. But what was the game? The Deadpool game. I have sort of a playthrough. I didn't finish it, but that's a shoot 'em up, and I think I did decent at that. I had some help from Big LT, but I kind of want to restart that just so because when I was the streaming app I was streaming it on, but didn't work the best with my Wi-Fi at the time. I think it would work better now the way I do things. But so after this, we are shown a lab where someone is doing an experiment. There's a blue thingy and a green thingy, and the green thingy is the T-virus, and he drops it, causing it to react. Someone is watching. There is someone walking behind you. Someone is watching, and starts to shut down. We've learned later this is the Red Queen, a computer AI that is tasked with protecting things, and she's doing this. I'm just going to spoil it now because she doesn't want the virus to get out. So she's locking everything down. She's flooding everything, all that. And this is where it got turned off after this because she got too scared. Well, we do cut to naked Mila Jovovich. Yes. Gee, I wonder if the director really likes this woman. Not like he married her or anything. They have a daughter together or anything. I wonder why he likes to see her naked. I don't know. And aside for a nipple popping out at one point, we don't really see anything. Because it's like, okay, so this scene is completely stupid. Okay, so she walks through this, right? She's holding a towel. It's another one of those things where it's like, why is she? Like, she doesn't know her surroundings. But there's no one there, right? But like, it's not as ridiculous as that one movie I was talking about where she's holding this the whole time she's doing it, and it's just like, because the actors didn't want to show nudity. And we get, Mila Jovovich is no stranger to nudity in films. Believe me this. So when she goes to change it to the robe, we do get a little bit of side shot of boob and nipple. For any of those, My favorite fact about this franchise is the fact that you can tell when she had the baby, because in the next movie she was in, her boobs got bigger. You could tell she had the baby in between films. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's how motherhood works, right? But here's the thing. She puts on this robe, and immediately turns around and finds a dress laying on a bed. And the next cut, she's wearing the dress. Why did she need to put on the robe then? Just put on the dress. You could get rid of her putting on the robe because we have to see her nipple there. You could do that with a dress. You literally could. I don't know. But, yeah. And while walking around in her red dress, it's a nice color, she happens upon Matt, who is played by Eric Mabius, who is the Crow from the Crow Salvation. And there is a scene in this where he realizes what's going on, and he has this look on his face where he goes, it screams the scene from Crow Salvation where he goes, "You're up!" Just like, yeah. He's being chased by this group of mercenaries, of which I only know 3 of them. Kaplan, whose actor I do not know, and then there's one, played by Colin Salmon, and Rain Ocampo, played by Michelle Rodriguez. Yes, and then there's other people there. There's also this other guy who Milla Jovovich seems to have. Her name is Alice, by the way. Alice, Red Queen, Follow White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland. You know? And they are there. They came by train, which is a nod to the games, because that's how you escape in the second one. I believe it's the second one, or is it the first one? Whatever. Doesn't one of the games start on a train? Is that Code Veronica that starts on a train? I don't know. Anyway. By the way, Wesker doesn't show up to the third one. Just saying, I know that much. And then he's a different actor. Then he's Sean Roberts in the rest of this franchise. Oh, actually, I was wrong. I have actually seen another one of these. I forgot. I went to the theater with DeGroby and another friend of ours named Travis to see Afterlife. And I had no fucking idea what was going on. I had no knowledge of the games. And I'm watching this and I just point out, hey, that's the dude from Degrassi. That's all I knew. And also Ali Larter is there. But the whole, I don't know, that whole movie is confusing. Anyway. Maybe now that I'm watching through these, I'll understand them more. But I'll understand it more. We'll get there when we get there. But anyway. So they're there to shut down the Red Queen system. I don't remember why, but they are there to do that. Apparently because she went nuts or something, and I need to figure out what happened. So the first half of this film is them just going through the corridors and everything. There's no zombie action. It's not till after they shut it down that it's a shit time and the zombies, happen. Eventually, I think it is revealed that the one dude who I said should be Wesker is basically Wesker because he's the one who released the T-virus, I guess. There's also some kind of flashback where he was supposed to be her husband, but it was a cover, and it turns out Matt's there to track down his sister, and Milla Jovovich was his sister's contact. They were going to expose Umbrella for the experiments that they were doing. But she's dead anyway. It's the zombie that bites Rain. I don't remember. Is that the one that kind of, when they see it floating in a thing, they go, is that one? Because I don't know. But she gets bit, and then it takes forever for her to turn. Which, I feel like with zombie movies, the gestation period of how long it takes for someone to turn to a zombie or not depends on the writer of the film or episode and how long they want to wait and how long there's no specific amount of time. I guarantee you, and I don't remember, and again, I haven't seen these, but I guarantee you it's going to get quicker and quicker as we go through. And I only know 2 off the top of my head that do change. Her and EJ. In the third one, I know at some point he gets bitted in the third one. Again, my knowledge, trying to remember certain things, these are going to piece everything together. So, Uh, EJ. I love my Fs, so we'll see how that goes. We'll introduce in the next one, right? But anyway, uh, so eventually the zombies arrive and they start to kill. They don't show much really. I will say this. There's actually very subdued stuff. Sometimes. At first there is. There's a part where the zombie is shown and you see it, it's subdued. So you don't see the bad effect because you know the effects are going to be bad. There's also effects where people get lasered. Colin Salmon gets like... But, because like, they're trying to escape it. First of all, these people are fucking stupid. So the Red Queen is still online. She's watching. There are cameras everywhere. And they just lay out what they're going to do. They're here to shut down. We got this thing. We'll bring it in and it'll shut it down. I'm like, why do you say this out loud when you know she's watching you with cameras? Because as soon as they do that, they go in, she shuts the door behind them, and she lasers them to death. Dude gets diced. Yeah. And then rightfully so, my man. I think this is Kaplan. They're like, hey, we have to get this done. And the other two are like, no. So he's like, grabs the thing. He's like, I like how Milovich touches his shoulder. Oh. Okay, so they get in there and they turn it off, like I said, and that's what brings the zombies. And I do like it. It's become iconic now, where she shows up as a little. You're all going to die down here. She was mostly right. But I do think, if I remember correctly, that it's the dude who, I don't know his name. The dude that was supposedly married to Milla Jovovich. That let T-Virus free. Right? The one I called Wesker, not Wesker. He dies anyway. He gets it, and he turns into a zombie. You know, as you do, like you do. Yeah. But Rand is also starts to turn. The injector was supposed to be an antivirus, but you know that can't work, or the movie wouldn't work because she doesn't get turned. Does it speed it up? I don't know, but she just. Yeah, and then they tell Milla Jovovich to kill her, and instead she destroys the little box thingy from the Red Queen. I don't understand why she does that, but eventually Rain dies. And despite what trailers you have seen for future films with Michelle Rodriguez in it, she is in fact dead. I know the plot of that one. I think it's Retribution. We'll get to that. I know some of this. I said, my memory is not. It's in there. You know, your memory it stores everything. So it's there. You just have to try to unlock it. You know, it's like a door. So I remember certain things, but not. Maybe that's. Is the character that. The dude I was talking about earlier, Ian Glenn, is his name Dr. Isaacs? Is that why I keep associating Isaacs with him? I think he's in the next one, so we'll find out. I think his name is Dr. Isaacs. That's why I just thought of that. It's in there. It just doesn't always connect right sometimes. Oh. Anyway, she and Matt are the only survivors, and Matt is taken away on a stretcher. He starts to mutate, and they say they're going to submit him to the Nemesis program. While Milla Jovovich tries to stop them, and she gets knocked out. And then we wake up to naked Milla Jovovich again. And this is the iconic scene where this is iconic at this point, where she walks out. Raccoon City is gone, apparently. Both games happened while she was sleeping, apparently. They said it's supposed to be a prequel. And I don't know. Though, I think the end of 2, spoiler alert, the end of the second game, bomb drops. I think it would look worse than this. I think it would look like the Wasteland that 3 is in. And there's zombies around. So maybe it's just in the middle of 2? Though, honestly, I think you could throw the games out of continuity with this, especially the way they. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, so they had high hopes that this was going to do good, and it did, because they had a bit of a cliffhanger there. And, yeah, and you know what? I enjoyed this. It's subtle. It has shades of another movie by Paul W.S. Anderson, Event Horizon. You know, with the crew going in and trying to discover what happened in that place. You know, as that sort of situation. This was after that, right? Because that was like 96. I want to say 96. Event Horizon came out. You know, but there is, I forgot, the liquors do show up, and it's like they got a taste of human flesh, and now they changed what the liquors look like in the game. I think. Again, I don't know a lot, everything about the games, but I know some. Like, yeah, and apparently the liquors are the only creature besides Nemesis. Nemesis? No, it's Genesis. Genesis, besides Nemesis, they know how to use in this franchise. Including this one. Oh, at least the Trevor is there, and that was in addition to the remake, if I remember correctly. I don't know. The remake of the game, not the movie. You know. But yes. I enjoyed it. I'll say it's pretty good. So I hope you are ready for March of the Living Dead 3. Like I said, this is most likely the last one, but if I get an itch up my ass, I don't know, maybe I'll do another one at some point, but I wanted to do this one more time at least. And when I do that video, it'll be explained. It's probably out by now, you probably already know, but yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Resident Evil? Leave a comment, so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.